The majority of Americans don't even own a stock. They don't even know what the stock is. And what they're seeing is their elected officials going, the economy's great. And they're like, I've been making the same wage at Walmart and shit's getting more expensive. How can you tell me the economy's great?
Andrew Shulz slams the elites and their greed for leaving behind everyday working Americans in this clip from Trigonometry with Konstantin Kisin, as Andrew Shulz goes after the rich who have done nothing but gain from America's misfortunes while normal people suffer and are gaslit into believing everything is okay, while we all know that's a lie. So let's check out this clip with Andrew Shulz slamming the elites on Trigonometry.
Information.
Do you think that's where the other, you know, Francis and I love America. It's an amazing place. But do you think that's maybe where the other side of another coin comes in, which is the culture here is so obsessed with making money that people will do some pretty horrific shit as long as it makes business sense.
And it almost like feels justified.
Right.
We have a saying, I don't know if you guys have it there, but like, it's just business.
Yeah, no, we don't have that saying.
No, we don't.
No.
But it's ridiculous saying like, I could fuck you over, but like, hey, it was just business.
Yeah.
It's like, no, it's not just business.
No.
Like you and I built a relationship based on what I assumed were shared values. And then you did something that broke the trust that I had in you with those values. And yeah, I think it's really up. Yeah, there is a little bit of a disconnect. You know, we all call ourselves Americans and we're in this thing together, but sometimes it seems like we have no problem taking advantage of other Americans. And just like with the crypto rug pulls and all this kind of stuff, it's like, well, those are your countrymen. Those are the people that invested in your, and yeah, they invested it based on greed. Okay, but that doesn't mean that you're allowed to fuck them over. You know, maybe they had optimism about what you were about to offer them.
Yeah, well, no, you can be a really big fan of capitalism, but also recognize that there are extremes to it.
We, yeah, 100%. I think one of the big issues in America is, I was just doing the All In podcast, so I want to like credit them for this idea, but like, I think the reason why a lot of Americans feel like a lack of hope about their ability to be financially successful, is it comes from, I think like post global financial crisis. So like after, what is that, 2008? In order to like get the economy going again, I think the Fed dropped interest rates to like 0%.
Yeah.
So you could get money for nothing, right? And if you're somebody who's like financially literate, I'm not at all, but you get levered up, right? You take out as much money as you possibly can and you dump it into a recovering market that you know is going to go up. And I think a lot of Americans that were very wealthy did that. And then they saw insane gains in the stock market. The middle class that had like what we call like 401ks and Roth IRAs. I don't know if you guys have the same thing where you're from, but
we know what you mean.
Right? They were through these investment tools able to get some access to that, so they went up a little bit, and then everybody else got left behind. I think it's very hard to believe in capitalism when it's not working for you. It seems to be working against you. Like all these people here, their wages didn't go up. They keep hearing how great the economy is. Like this shows you, and this is not to rag on the Democrats, but like it shows you how disconnected Democrats are from like actual working class people. They kept bragging about Biden's economy. They're like, Biden has the strongest economy. It's the most amazing. No. The stock market was good. The stock market does not reflect the majority of Americans. The majority of Americans don't even own a stock. They don't even know what the stock is. And what they're seeing is their elected officials going, the economy's great. And they're like, I've been making the same wage at Walmart and shit's getting more expensive. How can you tell me the economy's great?
Folks, it's sad to say, but Andrew Shulz definitely has a point. Like greed has gone absolutely too far in this country. I mean, to the point that, you know, there's plenty of these elites in ivory towers who don't care what happens to everyday working people. They don't care to all of the other millions and millions of people who walk around them every day they go out, you know, into their lives. They just don't care. They're just going to strip mine everything as much as they can. And anytime there's any calamity, they're always the first to benefit from it because they're first in line to get either loans or assets or whatever it is. They're always the first to benefit. And Americans, everyday working people, are always the last. And especially, after 2008, I mean, you saw companies and corporations, you know, explode. But for the longest time, wages haven't gone up, prices have gone up, budgets are getting tighter, and these people on the top end, they don't care. They don't care. As Andrew Shulz, pointed out, Democrats, all of these billionaire and billionaire Democrats, because Joe Biden got more billionaires than Donald Trump supporting him, and so did Kamala Harris. Like, that shows you where the billionaires are really at, who they're putting their money behind. And Democrats, they don't care. It's always the elitists talking down to everyday people who are just, screaming like, hey, what about us? Why don't you care about us? And yeah, it's sad. But yeah, there's plenty of people who say, oh, it's just business. It's just business. To them, yeah, it's just business. They don't care if they destroy Americans. They don't care about any of that. And unfortunately, that's how far greed and corruption has really gone in America, to the point that, yep, it just doesn't matter. It's sad but true. But folks, let me know in the comments if you agree with that, and hit that like button if you're enjoying the video. Let's get back in.
The majority of Americans don't even own a stock. They don't even know what the stock is. And what they're seeing is their elected officials going, the economy's great. And they're like, I've been making the same wage at Walmart and shit's getting more expensive. How can you tell me the economy is great? Right? And when you feel that, you just feel like the train got on the tracks and pulled away and left you behind. So then you start to have this like anti-American sentiment because America doesn't seem to be working for you. So one of the things that, it's not my idea, but like I think is very important, is like, you want Americans to be on board with capitalism, they have to feel the benefits of it. They have to be invested in capitalism. So I don't know if it's given every American 10 grand invested in, S&P 500 from the day they're born that they can't touch until they're 22. But I promise you have a very different sentiment about the stock market, about capitalism, about America, about CEOs. Like, it's hard to hate Elon when your biggest stock holding is Tesla, right? Like, all of a sudden you go, I kind of like this guy. He's doing a good job. Why don't you take it easy on him, right? When every American is invested in the success of American industry, you will have a very different relationship with American industry. But we've left far too many people behind. And I think, as to what you guys are saying, we feel way too comfortable doing it. And we need to get rid of that.
Were you surprised with the Luigi Mangione case, the number of people who came out and were pro this dude?
I think that that's like a really important thing to pay attention to if you have a lot of money in America. I think the other thing that people don't talk about as much, but it's like what happened in California in the Palisades. It's the same reaction, right? And like you'll understand everything about a culture based on their reaction to like defining events. So the Mangione thing, everybody was making jokes on Twitter. That guy.
Just for people who don't know, this is a guy who went and assassinated a healthcare company.
Allegedly.
CEO.
Allegedly?
No,
I don't know.
he killed him.
Yeah, he killed him. I don't feel like we need to worry about libel on this one. But so he shot this guy, and then what happened in the Palisades is there were some fires that burned down an entire district, basically.
And the attitude was essentially, they have another house in Aspen. They have another house over here. Like, it's just rich people's houses. Who gives a
I see what you're saying.
And
Andrew Shulz is definitely right about one thing. Defining moments will absolutely bring out the inner character in people. When the Palisade fires happened, I remember watching it. I didn't see quite the same thing that Andrew Shulz is saying, but it makes perfect sense. When you forget about people, hey, when your stuff burns down, when you fall from the ivory tower, when you lose the mansion and all that, no one's going to feel bad for you. No one's going to feel bad. And quite frankly, why should they? There's no shared interest in capitalism, like Andrew Shulz pointed out. Like, when everyone's benefiting from the system in somehow, some way, everyone has something to get out of it. Everyone has a reason to keep believing in it. But whatever system you're in, and I believe capitalism is the best, but whatever system you're in, if you all of a sudden feel like you're getting nowhere, why would you keep believing in it? Why? There's no reason to. Like, why am I going to keep investing in this system that just keeps screwing me over? But I see all of these other people, winning from it, and yet, I get no help, I get nothing. But folks, thanks for watching. Let me know whether or not you agree with what Andrew Shulz had to say to Konstantin Kisin on trigonometry. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe, and I will see you on the next one.